audio's like and the visual stuff, because I'm on location and I've no idea how good this signal strength is. Jeez, honestly, things we do. Get out of bed early on a Sunday morning, again. Oh, there we go, look, we're on. Better turn that down. There we go. Right, with you in a second. We're almost there. Who we got? Steve! Evening, morning, afternoon, or good morning, Steve. Mike Bazanski, good morning, Andy. Alan Cook, hiya, Andy and crew. Good morning, Mike and Alan. And of course, Simon Rawle, no doubt sat in front of his TV with a cider. Good morning, Simon. Right, skip adverts. So many adverts on these things, isn't there? So, I'm a week in. I left home very early Monday morning. And went and headed down to Wellington, got the ferry, and here I am in the South Island. I've been working my way down. Where have I been? I've been basically down the east coast, and then I cut inland after Oamaru. I cut right across to Queenstown, doing some training in Oamaru. And I've been in Queenstown since Friday night. It's now Sunday morning, and immediately after this live stream, I've plotted a long way route, so not the direct route, a long way route to Invercargill, or Invercargill, as they say. It's also known as the asshole of New Zealand, just out of interest. Can't think why, but that's what I'm told. It's not a conclusion that I came to, it's just what I've been told. All sorts of stuff to show you. But first, better show you the view, because I took a little bit of time to try and find somewhere that would give you a good view of Queenstown, rather than be in the town centre like we normally are. So, geez, let me just turn the camera around for you. That was terrible photography, Mr. Young. Right, so there you go, going round. So all 14 of you, I'm stood on this sort of beachy thing with you. Hopefully we won't go out of range. And if we pan round, right at the back down there is where the airplanes take off. That's the airport, and basically they go up there in the sky, which is quite nice. Come towards us. There might be a plane a bit later on. And over there is sort of the start of Queenstown. I can't get any further around, there's no access, unfortunately. So Queenstown is just round the corner, and if we head down here, geez, hopefully the signal will keep going. Oh, you can't quite see it. I could see it on the way here, but on that hill there, right in the background, that's where the ski lift thingy is, the gondolas they call it. Yeah, so I thought, a bit different, down on a beach. Let's go look on the map. I'll show you on the map where we are. Oh, I did a heads up. Tragic problem with the truck. As me saying it's so reliable? Well, there's a problem. Right, we'll plonk you guys back on there. Turn you round. Okay, let me find Mr. Map. We'll go on to Googly Maps, and I'll show you where we are on Googly Maps exactly. Bloody hell, modern technology. I was a bit concerned we were going to run out of signal down here because it's not the strongest. So actually, it's not looking too bad at the moment. And the old Ute's a bit high. Try to find a mound to stand on. Right, that'll do. Queenstown, perfect. Bear with me, people. Let's just get this set up for you. Right, we'll get rid of that. Okay, turning you around again, and I'll try and get you set up so you can view the screen. Now, obviously, you guys can't talk or figure out enough. There we go, that sort of works. So we are, in fact, bang on, basically, Kelvin Grove. I whittled the truck down through the trees to get down to the beach for you. And if we scroll out and take it over here, this is the view we were looking at down the large pond, and that was the end of the pond. And over here is Queenstown Airport, and I've flown in and out of there many times, and it's an amazing flight in if it's daytime in the winter with all the snow. It's absolutely incredible. But because we're here, obviously we can't quite see round the corner to see Queenstown, and there isn't really any kind of road that I'm allowed to go on. There's this one here, but it's up in the trees and there's no view, so that's not going to happen. But you can see that when we did the live stream last time, we were at Pogmahones, which would have been... Pogmahones, is he on? There he is, look! Pogmahones. So we were sat at the back, just there, looking out across the thingy. That was one of the live streams we did. And then we did another one, which was from a cafe. I think it would have been about here on the corner, actually, that Sunday morning. The last one we did. Yeah, that's right. So I'll give you sort of some bearings of the township. And I thought it'd be a bit different this time to do one from down there. Right, so there you go, that's where we are. There we go, cigarette's gone out, bear with me. Oh no. Now, where are we? Back to the comments. Gordon Abbott, hi all. Good morning, Gordon. Good to have you on board. Simon, yes, a cold cider. I knew it. Can't have cider this time in the morning. I've got 400 and, well, the route that I've put together is about 400 and something kilometres. We might try and have a look and see where I'm going in a minute. Now then, Garth May, road trip, party on, my friend. Road trips are just my daily job, aren't they? When I get out and about, it's nice. It's tiring though. The first few days were very, very long days, and I was knackered. I even contemplated doing a live stream on the road coming down, but it wasn't going to happen. Killswitch BB, hi Andy and crew. Good morning, Killswitch. Good to have you on board. Alan Cook, you're not far from where Lord of the Rings was made. That's right. In fact, Lord of the Rings was made in lots and lots of different places around New Zealand. It wasn't really one location. Simon, looks stunning. It's pretty cool. It'd be nice if the sun came out a little bit because it's bloody cold. Honestly, every single car that's gone over that speed bump this morning has grounded out. And they're all driving way too fast. There's a little kids' play park just there. I mean, there's no kids there, but they don't know that until after the speed bump. Anyway. Connor K. Hey, good morning, Connor. Good to have you on board, sir. And, you know, you'll appreciate the water. No boats, unfortunately. Not on this bit. Not yet. Oh, there's one over there. Hang on, this is for Connor. Hang on, bear with me. Connor wants to see a boat. There you are, look. Can we zoom in? Oh, we can. There you go. You'll know exactly what that is. It's just a boat to me. Right. Oh, terrible photography. Sorry. Making people famous. Somebody running. Geez, I used to do that. Not anymore. Nut Barsden. Hey Andy. Good morning, Nut. Off-road fan. Good evening, Andy and crew. Good evening, off-road fan. Welcome aboard to the on location. We're in Queenstown at the moment. Flicky Flack. What's petrol prices like there compared to the UK? Well, I don't really buy much petrol anymore, but it's about $2.91 unleaded, which is the cheapest you can get here. Is about, I'm sort of guessing about $2.20 a litre. So you'll have to go on to Google conversion thing for that. At the moment, it's almost sort of half, I would say. It's maybe just Yeah, if you have it, you're not far off. Diesel actually has shot up during the time we were all stuck in our houses. It dropped to $1 a litre because obviously there was a surplus, and it's back up now to $1.50 a litre near enough. V8 Burglar, good morning. That landscape reminds me Azores. I don't know where Azores is. Mike Bazanski, I see pie. Yes, and it's getting cold, and I've got the semi-warm coffee. Yep, semi-warm. Okay, so we'll do a mappy thing a bit later on. You want to see what's wrong with the truck, don't you? You really do want to see what's wrong with the truck. I know you do. Automotive. Andy, keep it automotive. Okay, right, so let's go for a wander, and I'll show you the problem with the ute. It's still usable, obviously, but we need to have a look. So I got off the ferry, and I'm going to stand on the side step, and I noticed, I don't know if you see it or not, there's a huge crack in the windscreen. Hang on, will it focus now? Maybe. There's a big crack in the windscreen, and this crack just got longer and longer and longer and longer, and it's made it to that point at the moment. It seems to have slowed down now. It's sort of almost in the middle, but you know, it's probably going to get longer. And it all originated because there must have been a stone chip just right on the edge of the glass. Focus, damn you. There we go. Oh, you stupid fuck. Right, is it going to focus? Yes, there you go. That's almost focused. Oh, I give up. Okay, maybe now. There we are. Look, there's a little crack right. The screen is exposed. There's no rubber lip at the top. So I think there's a chip either there, or it might have been that caused it. Not entirely sure. There's definitely a little ridge there. But couldn't get it replaced in a reasonable time. I rang Smith & Smith is a good place to use, or usually a good place to use. And they said, oh, we need a 5-hour window. And I said, well, the truck doesn't stop for 5 hours apart from through the night. So you're going to fit it through the night? And he says, nah, we can't do it. Oh, hang on. Hey, did you hear about the Irishman? This is not a racist joke, by the way. Did you hear about the Irishman? He spent his entire life looking for a sloping lake. Sorry, that was wrong, actually. I'll say that again. Did you hear about the Irish water skier? That was the joke. Spoilt it now. The Irish water skier spent his entire life looking for a sloping lake. Right, it's almost level. There we go, look, that's level now. Somebody's going to tell me off otherwise. So yeah, I rang up Smith & Smith, said, hey, this is the truck, this is the rego, blah, 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 need a windscreen ASAP. I was in Christchurch at the time. Can you fit it while I'm doing my visit? And he said, well, we probably can, but we'll need 5 hours. And I said, I haven't got 5 hours. So I decided to carry on. So we'll see what it's like when I get back home. You'll probably see it in fact, we'll have a look at it next Sunday on the live stream when I'm home and just see how bad it's got. Oh, Jim Haynes, just got the notice you were on, so I got here late. That's all right, Jim. Good to have you on board, matey. We've got 26 people viewing the beautiful view of Queenstown, basically. Not quite the town itself, but we're very close. Conakry, no boats for me, only merchant ships. It's as near as I could get here. You're not going to find any merchant ships in this lake. That was a sailboat, possibly operated by a waffy, wind assisted. Okay, idiot. All right. Deep draft vessels have the right of way. Yeah, there is quite a big steamship here. It used to be a steamship. It's probably been converted now to something diesel. But there is one of those that's pretty much, it goes up and down the lake on the other side, which is pretty cool. I mean, who knows? We might, one day we might do a live stream from the steamship if it goes on a Sunday morning. Oh, V8 Bergner. Azores is a group of Portuguese islands in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Wow, I didn't know that. Simon Roll, no mobile auto glass places close by. Well, there is, but none of them, well, not down, they wouldn't have a screen on the shelf for the Ranger, unfortunately. Christchurch was really my only best option, and at the time I was against the clock, and hey, what's more important are the dealer visits and staying on schedule, and a crack in the windscreen, it's not the end of the world. It doesn't stop me driving the truck. Jim Haynes, summer is on its way here in the US, and I see winter is on its way here. Oh, there. It is. There's actually already a little bit of snow. You can't see any from here, but there is. Right on the mountain peaks, there is still a bit of snow. Or there is some snow now. Daz, 323323. Hey, Andy. Hope you are doing well. I am. I'm not bad, actually. I got a good night's sleep last night, although I did wake up quite early. But that wasn't a bad thing, to be honest, because otherwise I would have been late. It took me a while to find a location. The first place I went to was actually the other end of the lake, down there, at the airport end, and the signal was atrocious, so I had to bin that idea and race down here and try and find somewhere else. Now, I've done a walk around here with Mrs. Mechanic a long time ago, and I sort of remembered this sort of location. I thought, oh, that might work. The other plan was to get somewhere up nice and high so you could see over the town. But unfortunately, they've built way too many houses now to do that kind of stuff. There really isn't much of a view from the places I looked at on Google Maps anyway. Simon, Connor K, you sound just like my dad, lol. He was a deep sea. He was deep sea for years. Cool. Almarine Velocity. Hey up, Andy. Good morning, Almarine. Good to have you on board. Off-road fan, don't forget your pie, it's getting cold. Good point. Mrs. Mechanic always tells me off. She won't be watching this because she's gone camping with our youngest daughter for the last few days, so I don't think the signal is going to be good enough to watch a live stream. She's probably cooking breakfast or something. Really is borderline on being cold, this pie now. Jim K, hello Andy, good morning Jim. Good to have you on board, sir. Almarine Velocity, are you by the sea or green screen? Well, first of all, green screen technology, for me to organise on a live stream especially, it would be just a disaster waiting to happen, to be honest. The green screens are not anything that I could even contemplate trying to do. This is real water, and I'm down in Queenstown, which is towards the bottom of, well, it's sort of towards the bottom and slightly to the west of the South Island of New Zealand. And I'm about halfway through a 2-week run. And I do this probably about 4 times a year. If all goes to plan, about 4 times a year. Alan Cook, how's Holly? Holly is doing just fine. In fact, I spotted a picture on her Instagram account the other day. I think it was yesterday it came through. And she's just got her hair done. How's that? So she's doing some maintenance. Good girl. So, what's next? We've looked at the truck, we've done a quick whiz round. Well, when I'm on these trips, I do get a bit of downtime. Not a lot. I get a little bit of sort of pockets of free time. And yesterday afternoon, before I went to the movies, went to go watch a movie that turned out to be crap, which was, what was it, Walking? I don't know, I'll think about it. I'll try and remember the name of the movie. It was that bad, I can't remember the name of the movie. But I popped into Mitre 10, which if you're in England, it's a bit like the B&Qs we have over there. And I like to sort of have a wander around and think, what else do I need for the workshop that I've never had time to pick up, or supplies, and you know, I usually buy a few bits and pieces while I'm away. And yesterday was no exception. So I spotted this. Now I do have a few squares already in the workshop, but I do like the Starrett brand. Very good quality. I thought, well, maybe it's time I get myself a new one. So we've got a new square, and that was about $18 or something. It was really cheap. So I think it was on, they were trying to clear them out, so I got one of those. Got myself sort of a half-length wood saw because I've got lots of deck work to do soon, so that'd be quite useful. And that was about, what was that? That was about $18 as well, actually. Now, I had to do some measuring. And obviously to do measuring, you need some form of measuring device. And normally I buy tape measures, but I've got lots of tape measures already at home, and I didn't really need another one. And the reason why I had to do some measuring is, those of you that were on the live stream last Sunday, I've got, on this particular run, I've got 2 motorcycles to collect. They've been donated to the channel by Roger, one of the viewers. He lives down near Invercargill, and they're both Yamaha AG100s. Now, I do have a bike rack that I fabricated up a few years ago that fits a standard tow bar receiver hitch. So I can get one of the bikes on that, and I've brought that with me. That's under the tray at the moment. I won't show you under the tray because it's a bit of a mess. But the other bike, we're going to strip down to like a frame, leave the engine in, just take the wheels out, maybe take the forks out, don't know yet. And we'll pop all of that under the tray. You know, we'll get it all in there, no problem. But by doing that, it doesn't leave me a lot of space to take back the components that I need to take back that I collect along the run from the various dealer visits. So, and this was one of the reasons for making this this frame around here. Hang on, it wasn't quite down before. So when I get to Invercargill, I've got basically like a wooden stillage to collect from the dealer who saved it for me, and that's going to sit on top of the tray, and I can strap it down to these bars that I've made. But it's quite heavy. It will be quite heavy when it's all full. So I went to go and get some timber that I can just run across the top, 3 bits of timber, run across the top and just strengthen up this top cover. And of course, I had to measure, you know, how thick I could make that timber, or choose the timber thickness. So I decided, rather than buy another tape measure, I bought a steel rule. Again, this was about, I don't know, about 20 bucks. But I haven't got a 600mm steel rule. I've got plenty of 300s, and I've got a 1 meter one. But the 1 meter one sometimes is a little bit cumbersome for doing jobs that are anything over 300mm. So I thought, perfect, we'll get one of these. It'll complement the workshop arsenal, but it'll also give me what I need to measure up the length of the timbers, because I had to get them cut, and of course the thickness that I can go to, which turned out to be 25mm. So basically 1-inch timber. And 3 of those should just help to beef it up, and they will actually, they're long enough and they slightly protrude over the side to rest on the sides of the pickup body. They call it the deck over here, or the tray in fact. So we got all that organised. I've got the bits of timber on board, so all that's done. So I'll pick up the bikes this afternoon. Roger's, I think, already pulled the wheels out of one of them for me. And then up to the dealers on Monday morning, where I can actually load on that stillage, and then we will be loaded up. And then for the rest of the trip, I'll just be piling more and more stuff into that box, and it'll probably get filled up, and then some stuff will end up inside the cab as well. Usually, by the time I get home on these South Island runs, the truck is absolutely loaded to the gunnels, and I think it's going to be, that will be the case on this trip as well. Now, what else did we get? Well, we got some more. These are really good actually, these little plastic boxes. They're like $7 for 2, and I use them a lot when I'm doing the brake caliper overhauls, because I use 1 box per caliper off the ROVs and just chuck all the bits in. But I've been using the boxes for other things recently, so I'm getting a bit low, so I got another 4 of those. And some people are going to hate me now, but I often buy relatively cheap drill bits. Now, some cheap drill bits are crap, but for years I've been buying these. These are made by Fuller, and you get the full array of sizes. It starts at 1mm, and it goes right up to 10mm. Around there, look, there we are, 10mm. And it's quite a handy little box, because you know it's been rotary. You can just, you know where you can put them back where you find them, and then you can find them again. And this is $20, which is very, very cheap. And it, you know, there's quite a few sizes in there that I don't normally use, but it's handy to have. I usually buy in bulk, sort of 3mm, 4mm, 6mm, 8mm and 10mm, and sometimes 12mm if I'm doing a lot of steel work, big heavy stuff. But those are really good to have. So I don't know if you can get those in England or not, to be honest, but they're not bad, and they seem to last really well, and I can sharpen them up very well. And well, there's hundreds of them in the drawer, to be honest, but the little ones tend to get a bit lost or get broken. I did break a drill bit the other day actually. Bad, really bad. So I got those, and then I spotted, and you know I'm doing all the drawers in the workshop because you want a toolbox tour. Well, there's lots of little stuff, and it's nice to have things to put little stuff in. So I picked up a little organizer. This one's by DeWalt. I spent quite some time choosing it, because there was actually one, believe it or not, where when you shut the lid, it didn't create a seal against each compartment. So if it turned upside down, all the bits would mix up. and I thought it was really, really bad design. Whoever designed it completely missed the point of these kind of organisers. This one was a little bit more. This was about $28, I think it was. This one, but it's actually very, very strong. It's got an excellent steel rod hinge to it. So again, you know, just another little bit for the workshop. But long term, and I've been thinking about this while I've been driving, I'm actually going to get some laser cut plates which interlock at 90 degrees, so I can actually just lay those plates vertically in the drawer, or a drawer, and make up my own compartments. I thought that'd be a much cheaper way in the long run, so I can just get these strips of laser cut plates done which have got like little notches halfway through their height, and then you can just drop them on. I think you used to be able to get like a plastic kids toy. It wasn't Lego, it was something similar where you could build this thing with all these little slots and they all slotted together. I forget the name of it, but that's what gave me the idea. So I've got more work to do. I'll get those designed and ordered maybe next week, because I've just ordered something else from them as well, so I can pick it all up at once. Now then, where are we? Walking Dead. No, it wasn't Walking Dead. Hang on. Oh, it was. Hang on. I'll find out for you, because I forget. So it was at the cinema, Queenstown. It was definitely Walking something. There we go. Reading Cinemas in Queenstown. Wouldn't recommend it. Not really worth. Chaos Walking, that was the one. Chaos Walking. Yeah. Didn't like it. I mean, sure, it provided, 2 hours of viewing time just to burn the afternoon a little bit, but in reality, definitely wouldn't recommend it or watch it again, that's for sure. V8 Bergener. I've met a few globetrotters, people that go around the world on motorcycles. Yes, very envious, love to do that. And they all say New Zealand is the most beautiful country in the world. Now, New Zealand is on my bucket list, and so it should be. New Zealand actually is an amazing place. The only downside for me for New Zealand compared to the UK, when it comes to the road network, the councils here don't seem to like to have a decent network of back roads. The road planners seem to like to try and funnel the traffic and keep the traffic on the main roads. Whereas in the UK, there was lots of different back ways that you could take down the country roads to get to where you wanted to go. And I used to love exploring the old back roads, often doing a journey of just back roads to the destination. Yes, it'd take twice as long, but it was a lot more interesting and you got to see the real countryside. In some areas of New Zealand, you can accept the reason why that isn't the case, that they haven't got a good network of back roads, because there's mountains in the way. So, everything's sort of valley roads. But certainly on the North Island, there's lots of roads where you can see that if you look on the map, they've deliberately, there's like maybe 100 meters missing, and then the road starts again, a bit further down. And if that 100 meters was there, it would be a great through route. But they don't seem to want that. And I can't get my head around why. Seems a bit of a shame, really, keeping all the traffic on the main roads, and plus you don't get the views. I mean, there's plenty of back roads, but quite a lot of them are just like loops or dead ends. There's lots and lots of dead ends in New Zealand, hell of a lot. Oh, scroll back up. Jim Haynes, what brands of tools do you see in the field that most of the mechanics have there? Well, first of all, Snap-on is definitely not the most popular. Not in here in New Zealand. Maybe tools in general in New Zealand are very expensive, a lot more expensive relative to your earnings than they are in the UK. I would think nothing of buying a socket set in the UK, but here, an average sort of socket set, 1/2-inch square drive, you're probably looking about $300 to $350 just for sort of a run-of-the-mill Stanley or a Vacu. I'd probably a Tang's about the same sort of money, but in my opinion, better quality. And I'm not just saying that. But as regards, there is actually, believe it or not, there's a lot of Teng tools here in New Zealand now. They've done extremely well to get them out there. City Chrome as well, there's quite a few of those. I see quite a few toolboxes of City Chrome. Some do have snap-on, but not many. Now then, King Dick. We've got a few King Dicks over here. But yeah, let's keep an eye out. Well, take more of an observation on that. I'll report back. I'll see what the next dealer's got. I'll go and rummage through some toolboxes and find out. Unfortunately, the mechanics tend not to get paid a lot of money, and they've got to pay for the tools themselves. So they tend not to be the premium brands, the real expensive stuff. You can't get Brittle here, if Brittle still exists. Simon will tell me. Jim K. Oh, hang on, jumping around. Fiat Bergner. I also would love to visit Burt Munro Museum, and so you should. I've been to the one in Invercargill. There's a big museum there, full of motorcycles. Really cool place to go. And if I do get a spare couple of hours in Invercargill, then I'll pop in and go around again, because they've got a video there on the Britain motorcycle and how they came to build it and all the problems they had building it and just how bloody awesome it was. So I would happily watch that again. Nut Barsden. Speaking of Arsenal, I'm putting new scope on my AR-15. Cool, good man. Simon, nothing wrong with buying cheap drills and bin them when done. I do sharpen them. I absolutely will not throw a drill bit away unless I absolutely have to. If it's a really small one that I snap, hey, it's not the end of the world. It's not worth sharpening, and often it breaks, and it's, in all honesty, being completely honest, trying to sharpen a really small drill bit with my eyesight now, it's almost done by feel, in all honesty. It's a bit hit and miss. But anything more than about maybe a 4mm, I will, even if it snaps, I'll still resharpen it. I'll give it a new face, and I'll keep using it. I hate throwing things away, especially drill bits and stuff, because it all adds up. But for $20 for, I don't know, how many do you get in there? 19 drills, so less than $1 each. And I mean, the 10mm ones I use heaps, and the 8mm as well. And they last for ages, and they're a good hard, well hardened, and they do sharpen up well. And they don't blunt off quick either. They'll do a fair few holes, and I drill a lot of holes when I'm doing those fabrication jobs. Jim K. That unit I emailed you about didn't last too long. Ooh. Had it sold before it was put together. You're going to love yours if you ever get one. I will be getting one, Jim, absolutely. I mean, obviously I'm going to see how things progress over the next few months. But probably August, when we get a lot more stock come through. Everything's processed, it's done. I've just got to give the thumbs up and basically pay the money. John Nuttall, you need a 3D printer, mate. That would be nice. Simply Diagnostics, Steve, got some good news. Oh, here we go. Good news is a good thing for you, Steve, because you've had some bad news recently. One of my trade customers has rented me an end bay in their workshop. Perfect for filming and leaving my gear set up. Oh, your gear set up. Should be in there in the next couple of weeks. That is fantastic news, Steve. I mean, you were doing a great job with the resources that you had. As long as everything's secure, I mean, you've got a lot of expensive gear, so as long as that site's secure, then that will be really, really good, and I think you'll find it a lot easier to do your videos. Mike Adams, hi all, good morning, Mike. Simon, don't think Brittle are still going. What a shame. I've got quite a few Brittle spanners actually. Mike Adams, getting new tyres put on my Julie. Tyres look good, but 16-inch tyres sure hurt when the shop hits the total button on the cash register. I bet it does. I did get word the other day actually. The big trailer it went down to sort of near Palmerston North earlier in the week, and I got a phone call telling me that the tyres on the rear axle, and it's got 6 tyres, 3 axles, the rear 2 tyres are getting quite bald, Andy. So luckily I've got 2 spares for that trailer when I bought it. So when I get back to Auckland, I'll swap those out and put both spares on. And I've just ordered 2 more tyres for it, so hopefully they'll be here within a week. But not cheap. Almarine Velocity. I have an old 16mm that I keep sharpening up. It's around 2 inches long now. Hey, as long as it drills the hole, it doesn't matter how long it is. Off-road fan. Don't make these metal dividers for your drawers. Hey, what? At least not for small parts, as you can't remove them from the drawer and take them with you. Well, that's a very good point. I'll prefer plastic boxes. Yes, that is a good point. One of the main sets of drawers that I'm looking to do it for is I have the long roll cab that's near the small door in the workshop. All those drawers, and you'll see this on the toolbox tour. That's where I keep all my nuts and bolts at the moment, at least. Because in drawers they stay, clean and tidy. And at the moment they're all in an array of little containers. Some are round, some are square. It's all a bit hit and miss. Nuts and bolts, I'm fine with doing that too. I agree, things like O-rings, jets, anything small that I might need to grab that box and take it with me into the field to do a repair, definitely needs to be in a box. And I will continue to buy these little boxes, but some of the drawers I think do need to have those dividers put in, especially the nuts and bolts. So that'll be the prototype to see how we get on with it all. It might even be that once they're in place, once I've worked out the arrangement, I might just put a little spot weld on each joint, because one of the things that really annoys me is if once they're in place, if sometimes the little dividers can rise up and the bolts can get stuck underneath them. So I've got to come up with a way of making it a bit more permanent, I think, but not to the actual drawer itself. The whole frame will be loose to the drawer, because I don't want to commit that drawer forever to that particular use. Oh my word, oh my word, oh my word. So many questions. Bear with me. Igor Davroskis. Don't you have the drill bit sharpener? Does it not allow to sharpen small ones? Right, the Drill Doctor. I do have the Drill Doctor, and yes, Mrs. Mechanic sharpened loads of drills for me when we made that video about a year ago. I think it was just before lockdown, or during lockdown. Not over impressed, in all honesty. I can sharpen a drill manually and better on the bench grinder than I can using the Drill Doctor. The Drill Doctor seems to leave the sharpened face quite scored. It's quite rough and quite aggressive on the drill bit end, whereas sharpening it on the bench grinder, on the wheel there, on the fine wheel, leaves a much smoother finish on the drill bit itself. And to be honest, it's quicker. You pop it out the drill bit, walk across the workshop, fire the bench grinder up. Within probably 30 seconds, the drill bit's sharp, maybe a minute at the most. I probably wouldn't have even got the Drill Doctor out of the drawer by that point. So yeah, I think for those that don't know how to sharpen drill bits using a bench grinder, great tool, better than nothing. But for me, ever since I made that video and we sharpened up the first batch of drill bits and used them to see what they were like, I've never gone back to it. Yes, it was expensive. Should I sell it? Maybe. Probably won't get much for it though. But the other benefit is it does mean that Mrs. Mechanic can go and sharpen all the drill bits, and it doesn't burn my time, which is quite nice. It's quite useful. If I'm on with a project, she could do that, and she didn't mind doing it at all. She was getting very good at it, actually. So hopefully that's answered your question. If you know how to sharpen a drill bit, just use your bench grinder. Don't go and buy a Drill Doctor or anything similar, to be honest. Mike Adams, I'm still getting the feel for sharpening drill bits. Yes. Connor K, do you use the Drill Doctor? The grinding wheels are good for a decent 200 sharpenings before changing. We've probably already exceeded that. I mean, Mrs. Mechanic would have done at least 200 drill bits when we did that video. But I I say, I've not used it since, so I don't know. It's probably still working all right. But it's always a cost, and if you just do it yourself on your bench grinder, it doesn't really cost anything, does it? Now then, V8 Bergner. My wife wants me to buy a belt drive conversion kit for her NC 750X. What's your opinion? Belt drive is only any good if you're not going on anywhere where there might be a little stone. Quite a few people here in New Zealand have the Harleys and stuff, which have got the belt drive, and there's a lot of gravel roads here in New Zealand, and the little stones, if they get trapped between the belt as it goes around the pulley, it basically pushes a hole through the belt, and they don't last long. Chain drive is a lot better if you're in any kind of rough environment. Other than if you're only on the road, and only ever on the road, then yeah, I can't see it being a problem, to be honest. It's less maintenance, that's for sure. But the belts are pretty expensive, and you will need to change it at some point. Cold pie. Actually, really cold pie. Mike Bazanski, did you ever figure out the issue you had with that set of tyres? Yes, that was the small Ifor Williams trailer, twin axle, and it was running 10-inch tyres. And originally they supplied King's tyres for it, and they were the ones that were constantly failing and going out around and cracking and all that kind of stuff. Yes, they found the problem with them. They were crap. They replaced them with a different brand at their cost. The tyres instantly felt and looked far better quality, and ever since we put them on, we've never had a problem. So it wasn't the fact that the axles were so far apart. Yes, that's going to cause a bit of scrubbing when you're doing tight turns, but it really was just the fact that they were just rubbish tyres, and I'll never buy them again. Al Marine Velocity, Andy, do you go? I'm actually starting to shiver now. It's that cold. Al Marine Velocity, Andy, do you go about organising drawers that have nuts and bolts in? Oh, how do you go about organising? Well, in that roll cab, the top there's 5 drawers that are dedicated for nuts and bolts. The top drawer, they're all metric. I only use metric bolts. Top drawer is 5. Well, it's about even 4, 5, and 6 M4, M5, and M6. That's nuts, bolts, washers, everything to do with that size or those sizes. The next drawer down will be M8s, and then M10s, and then M12s, which is about the biggest that I use. And then the last drawer, well, that's everything else. That's sort of specialist stuff like threaded eyelets and big square washers for using on the decks and stuff. And oddball big bolts are all in there as well. And as time goes on and you end up with more and more stock, you end up having to, use more drawers and start to tidy things up a bit more. But at the moment, it works really, really well. And there's probably about at least $1,000 of the stock on nuts and bolts in there. Well, there was. Ben's in the workshop for the last 4 days, so he might have robbed quite a few of them. But it is nice to be able to open a drawer and you've got lots of different sizes and lengths and stuff of the bolts that you need, and you can choose. I've even got some stainless bolts, some dome heads, some countersunks. It's nice to have that, to hand rather than having to go out and make a journey to go and buy a few bolts that you need. It does save a lot of time. Al Marine Velocity. When is the toolbox tour coming? Soon. I'm away on the road. I almost did it the other day, and then I ended up making this metal frame for the top of the ute, so it didn't happen. Plus, to be fair, there's still a little bit of tidying up to do, and there's about 130 drawers that we're going to be going through. So it might even be in 2 parts. We'll have to wait and see. More of yeah, it may well be in 2 parts. So more of a sort of everyday hand tools one, socket spanners, screwdrivers, pliers, all that kind of stuff. And then there might be the part 2, which will cover all the specialist tools and stuff that I have. And power tools as well, they're quite interesting. There's lots of power tools. Jim Haynes, after Stanley bought Brittle, here we go. It was just imported stuff anyway, no longer UK made, just standard Taiwanese. Well, that's a terrible shame. Thank you, Jim. Simon Roll had one job today, set of pads to fit nice and easy. Then the customer's wife came out with a coffee and a sausage butty. Oh my word, making me hungry. Love good customers, make up for the bad ones. Isn't it weird how there's such an array of different types of customers out there? Some are really grateful you've helped them out, and others, doesn't matter how much you do for them, they're always grumpy. Marine Velocity. I have some quality, I think that's supposed to say brittle, gear made in England. I do. My grandfather, one of them, used to be a tools rep for motor factors, and they sold a range, different brands. It wasn't just one brand. One of the brands he sold was brittle, and often when he'd come round to the house to visit, he'd bring me a spanner or a screwdriver or a pair of pliers. I mean, what a bloke, 10, 12-year-old kid. Here you go, Andrew. This is for your shed. And I've still got those tools. Hang on. Better than Snap-on, I say. I do have some Snap-on tools. I do, and there's nothing wrong with them. The only thing that I'd find a bit, and I know why they do it, because they look shiny, but when the Snap-on spanners and stuff, they're really highly polished, and you get a bit of oil on them, and they're as slippy as buggery. I don't like that. I really don't like that at all. The Teng ones are a much more sort of rough finish, and it's easier to grip. It may not look as nice and shiny in your toolbox, but they're actually easier to use, I think. Alan Cook, speak to you next week. Okay, Alan, no problem at all, matey. Good to have you on board, and thanks for joining us. 47 minutes in, wow. Steve, yes, Really Secure Plus should have enough space to allow subscribers to come, good, and spend the day with me whilst I film. That's awesome, I like that. And an endless supply of problem cars and known good cars to make videos from. Resources, Steve, are the biggest thing for you. They used to be when I was teaching at Unitech as well. Having example problem vehicles that you can work through and fix. Without that, it becomes very difficult. And I don't do a lot of retail work, hardly any to be honest. And the little I do, the brand can't be on the channel at the moment, so it's very difficult for me to do that kind of diagnostic video. Obviously the CB750 is an exception. That was brilliant, and those videos are really starting to take get some momentum now. It'd be nice to get finished though, actually. Jim Haynes, maybe instead of going to the movies, you should have finished watching on any Sunday. Yeah, probably. I think you're right there. But I wanted to get out of the hotel room. I wanted to go and do something. Mike Bazanski, when is Ben going to make us a bicycle video? That's a good point. He is keen to do that kind of stuff, and he's got a fantastic knowledge base now. So the content of the videos will be really, really useful to a lot of people around the world. And bicycle sales in the last 12 months have quadrupled. So there's going to be a lot more out there to maintain as well. But yes, Mike, I will speak to him again. He's busy welding up his ute at the moment. He's made a frame to go over the back window of the cab so he doesn't break the glass, because getting glass now is hard work. And he's made a bull bar for the front. So it's looking more and more like a wacky racers vehicle, I think. Mike Adams, are you as guilty as I am at saving fasteners, washers, brackets, etc.? As I'm thinking I might use that sometime, but later always every size but the size you need. I do. From a very early age, I used to go and see my godfather. He's passed away now, unfortunately, Ted. He used to maintain, or he used to have a range of old British bikes, and he used to tinker with them and fix them and stuff. And often would be, he'd ask me to find him a particular size bolt or a washer or something. And he used to have what we called Uncle Ted's Uncle Ted's box of bits. And in, you know, it was just basically a big box full of nuts and bolts and washers and all the rangum that you can't throw away. You chuck it in the box, and it's there for a rainy day. And to be fair, you do spend your time, because you never get to sort them all out. You never have time for that, but you do spend time every now and again digging through the box trying to find that bolt of the right size and thread and pitch and everything. So you know, I've got a number of Uncle Ted's boxes full of nuts and bolts which I've never had a chance to sort out. Every now and again I'll go in and take the biggest ones out and put those in the drawer in the roll cab, and try and put them in some kind of an order. But yes, I won't throw anything away. If it's reusable, I keep it, and that's probably one of my problems. So much stuff at the moment. Steve, customers make or break the job. I'm extremely picky over who I work for. Absolutely, and I've become that as well. You know, I turn away more jobs than I take on. Just don't need the headache, to be honest. Jim K, snap on for the win. You see, we all have our own opinions on tools. It's great. Mike Adams, my grandfather, my dad, and me have about 40 pounds of that junk collected, and 90% of the time, it's every size and type fastener than the one I need, and off to the store I go. But at least you've tried, and you know, some of the older fasteners are actually a better quality than the ones we're getting now as well. So, and I try, because I keep all the old original OEM bolts as well. I remember when I stripped down the RAV4 a few years ago, I got massive amounts of nuts and bolts out of that. You know, lots of little M6 fasteners, and really, really good quality, because they're from an era where nuts and bolts were good quality. Unfortunately now, a lot of them come out of China. The pie is almost as cold as if it had just come out of the fridge. Honestly, it really is cold. So, I'll finish with pie, and then we'll bring up Google Maps again, and I'll show you the route. I'll show you the route of where I'm going this afternoon. Jim K, what is the temperature? I don't know. There's quite a cold breeze coming off the water though, because the wind's coming straight towards me down the lake. Ooh, little plane. Can you see that up there somewhere? There he is. Now, here in New Zealand, we do actually have bigger planes than that. I don't even think that one's taken off from the airport. I actually have no idea what the temperature is. It feels probably around about, I don't know, 12 degrees, maybe. Which isn't that cold in the whole scheme of things, but I'm used to being nice and warm. Being sat in the truck. Machine NZ. Hey Andy, how's the journey so far? Where are you? The journey's going really well. I'm about, how many Ks have I done now? I think I'm about 2,000 Ks in of about a 4,500 K trip over 2 weeks. That's usually what it ends up being. Although every trip is a little bit different. You know, the route that I take and the order that I do things, and the number of stops, to be fair. I'm in Queenstown at the moment, and this is the lake that goes around Queenstown. Queenstown itself, the town centre's just over that way a little bit, and just to get your bearings, right down the lake down there, where you see the two hills, the valleys come in, basically down there is the airport. So that's the airport end of the lake. Here we go, and it's called, and I didn't know this. I keep forgetting. It's called Lake Wakatipu, is what it is. And the lake, this is only a little tiny bit of the lake. It's huge. If you go onto Google Maps, you'll see it. Now, also, just to give you a heads up, if you want a bit of a laugh later on, if you go onto the YouTube channel Yamaha Motor New Zealand, you will find 10 videos that I've done with them covering each of the vehicles that they sell to go on farms. So we've got the two-wheelers, the motorcycles, we've got the quad bikes, we've got the ROVs, which includes the most recent videos, which is on the RMAX 2 and the RMAX 4. So if you want a bit of a laugh after this live stream, you've got time, go and have a look at those. I'm not allowed to put them on my channel, obviously. That would be terrible and you know, very self-destructive as regards employment. But I don't see any reason why I can't direct my viewers to the Yamaha channel to go and have a look. And that's what I was doing a few weeks ago, if you're interested. Now, Joe Woo, what kind of pie is that? Well, it's a cold, very cold, steak and cheese pie. In fact, it's called a gourmet steak and cheese pie. And it's from, and I did pay for it. I don't get these free, you know, right? I'm just like a normal punter. But they come from the Wild Bean Cafe, which is in most of the BPs around New Zealand. Not all of them. The bigger ones have the Wild Bean Cafe. And if I go past, if I'm hungry and I go past the normal BP and it hasn't got the Wild Bean Cafe bit to it, it's just got the, I think it's BP to go is the other one. I don't even stop. I keep going. So it has to be a Wild Bean Cafe, and their marketing has completely sold me. Now then, where are we? Jim Haynes, the only UK tool company still made in the UK is King Dick. Ah, wow, I've got some King Dick spanners, and you'll see those on the Toolbox tour. Mike Adams. Yeah, you are moving into autumn and we're moving into spring here, Tennessee. Bugger. Yeah, it's going to get cold and wet. Steve, 12 degrees here today, but about the same as it is here, I reckon. Perfect shorts and t-shirt weather. Funny, mate. Oh, got a big dollop of cheese then. Okay. When you have a big box of bits, nuts and bolts, you need those boxes like that, the bolt box you showed for us at the beginning. Saved me a bunch of time and unnecessary trips to the hardware store. Yeah, I mean, I think you're absolutely right, Connor. It's just about being organised, isn't it? Because we all, if you don't know what you've got or where it is, you're not going to use it, you're just going to buy some more. But that other stuff has already taken up space in your workshop. And one of the biggest problems I've got now is space. I'm going to have to build another shed. I am. But it won't be till next summer. Oh, what happened there? I think my comments jumped. Let's go back. Oh, here we are, look. Jim K. All good there. Sorry, all good. Are there any new videos? Not yet. Not yet. My sincere apologies. I've got lots to do. Just haven't had any time to do it. I'm on this trip. Get back Saturday, next Saturday. Well, on Saturday, so there's another week gone. I'm at home, so I'll get bugger all done on the Saturday. Although I did buy a new laptop for editing with a docking station, and I decided to go with the Microsoft brand because the docking station will work with the Surface I've got here as well, which means I can just, you know, switch across and use the same docking station, the same big screens without having to unplug anything. It'd be perfect. But it wasn't cheap. It was just shy, including the docking station, it was just shy of 4,000 New Zealand dollars, which is the most I've ever spent by a long way on a computer. And that doesn't include the 2 screens that I'm going to need to get, or the headphones as well. I don't know if there's even a headphone jack, so I can use my old headphones. I've no idea. But that laptop will be powerful enough to edit videos at home, obviously, and I can just take it with me on the road and edit videos while I'm away on the evenings, which means I won't need to go to the cinema and watch any more shitty movies, and probably will cut down on my alcohol consumption as well. So it can only be a good thing, can't it? Plus there'll be more videos on the channel. So it means when I'm at home, I can just do the filming and not burn time editing, which would be great. So I bit the bullet and spent another chunk of my children's inheritance. They'd be very pleased. Mike, you're in the wrong spot. Andy, he's supposed to be down there on the shore with a beer and a fishing pole, sitting in a fold-up chair. This is Queenstown. We don't have fold-up chairs. We have proper-sized chairs and benches and things. It's very posh down here. Very expensive. And in all honesty, I've never seen anybody trying to fish down here either. Never once seen anybody fishing at the side of the lake. Simon, it was a nice day in the UK today. Bit sunny this morning. Oh, you know, nice bit of sun this morning. I'm hoping the sun breaks out today, but I don't think it's going to do. Our baby truck all crummy. Right, let's have a look and see if we can have a look to see where we're going. Bear with me. Oh, that's better. Get rid of the pie. Right. Oh, hello Andy. Looking half asleep there. Right. So, just zooming out. So there's... Where's Queenstown gone? It's around here somewhere. There's Queenstown. Queenstown. Right. So the traditional way to get to Invercargill is down the 6, all the way down through Dipton, through Winton and straight into Invercargill. It takes about 2.5 hours normal drive. Can you see that or not? I think you can see that. Just hang on. Let me zoom you in a bit. Jeez, I can't get you any closer really. Whoa, jeez. Okay, I think that's going to work. That's a bit better, isn't it? Okay. So instead, because me being me, I'm going to go down, try and get it as big as I can for you. So I'm going to follow the. There we are. How's that? Is that going to work? Right. I'm going to follow the lake down on the original route through Kingston. Hello, Clarice. Clarice is a friend that lives in Kingston. And down through Garston. There's a good cafe somewhere around. I think it's Athol. There's a really cool cafe in Athol. So I'm going to stop there and get a coffee, because this one's really cold. And then at Lowther, I'm going to go through Acton, and then Mossburn, and then follow the 94 through the Quay. Awesome names, aren't they? And then from the Quay, we're going to go on this white road through Ware Creek, I think it was, Black Mount, yes, to Eastern Bush, and then from there we're going to come down here to Otatu, and then from Otatu, where the hell was it next? I think I'm coming across, I'm going to cut across, there we are, look, yes, to this one. How do you pronounce that? O-T-A-H, Otauti, Otauti. So we're getting pretty close now, all the way across there, and then basically work my way down into Invercargill from there. So not too bad at all, but it's a bit of a roundabout run. I did work out the Ks, it's about 100 Ks more than the direct route. So it'll take me right round there, look. It's about the most abstract route that I can think of taking to get to Invercargill without heading completely the wrong direction. Oh, I'm back. Hello, people. 29 viewers watching me ramble on with Google Maps. That's ridiculous. So that's where I'm heading. Never been over that way, so it'll be a bit of an adventure. Oh, that's really cold. Now, have I got anything else to show you? I don't think I have. Smoked all my cigarettes in that one. What have we got in here? Oh yes, we've got 2 left. Brilliant. So, any more questions, people? Anybody been to any of those bits that I'm going on? That'd be cool. Hang on then. Bear with me, people. Let me get organised. Got to scroll back. Yes, wrong spot for fishing. That's right, Simon. Sunny in the morning. Yeah, Jim Haynes. Oh, Lupsido Alicon. Oh my word, Lupsido. I'm supposed to be going off-roading with Lupsido. Morning, Andy. Glad to see you back in the South Island. Thank you very much. Unfortunately, Lupsido, no time whatsoever for off-roading this time. Although you'd be very pleased to know that I did do Danzy's Pass again the other day. Did it a lot quicker. I've got a new best time for Danzy's Pass now. That was great fun. Although the guy in the Land Cruiser behind me was pushing me along a little bit. I think he was hoping to get past, but I managed to hold him off. But I had to turn off the traction control because it was just bogging me down. Couldn't get the power down with the traction control. But no, it was good fun. Stopped at the little pub there. I might even have a picture actually. Hang on. I took a picture. Bear with me. I'll unplug that for a second. Geez, I've got wires everywhere. So, let me find that picture of the pub for you. I've taken lots of pictures since then, so it'll be back a bit. Hang on. Oh, that was Christchurch, kept that far back. There we go. Right. There you go, look, that's the ute parked outside the pub. It actually, I went inside. There you are, that's a better picture. That's the picture of the pub there, look. Danzy's Pass Hotel. Looks like you can stay there as well, so I might try and link in one of my night stays there and drive there in the evenings. You know, that's it basically. You can't see any more of those pictures. But yeah, go inside. I should have taken a picture of the inside. It's real. They've done it really nice. It's really oldie worldy. Felt very welcoming. Although it was run by, I think one of the barmen was an Indian and the other one was a Russian. So it was really weird in the middle of nowhere in New Zealand, and we've got no New Zealand people actually running the pub, but I suppose it's just the way it is these days. But yes, it was sort of a nice sort of late, the nice hot sun. It was real dusty on Danzy's Pass as well, but it was good. It was a good little run, and it does cut out quite a chunk of tarmac road. And I was reading some information about it when I was doing some research with a plan to do a voiceover on some of the video footage I took the first time I did it, which I still haven't got around to doing. And there actually wasn't that much information on Danzy's Pass, and I think that's one of the reasons why it wouldn't really make much of a video. It'd be a very short video if it was, because there'd be not a lot to talk about. But they were saying that if a particular part of the state highway gets closed, then all the traffic, a lot of the traffic ends up going through Danzy's Pass. And I mean, if there's trucks going down there, it's really, really narrow in places. Not quite as narrow as Skipper's Canyon, but still pretty tight. I could see there'd be quite a few potential accidents down there because of it. Machine NZ. Off now, Andy. Have a safe trip. Thanks, Machine NZ. I will. Good to have you in the workshop, or in this case, Queenstown. Jim Haynes. A lot of the Taiwan-made tools are world-class and are good value, like Tang and Gear Wrench. Yeah, I mean, I remember when I was in the UK, I used to look at things made in Taiwan as being crap. But now that I live in New Zealand, I look and see things made in China as crap, and made in Taiwan is actually a good thing. Look at that, we've got a sloping lake again. Useless. There you go. I think it's just the camera angle. It is. It's very strange. Anyway. So, Jim K. Buying new tech and tools is an investment in yourself. It is, and it's sort of pride in the workshop, and it's nice just to have the right kind of gear. It makes jobs a lot easier. I bought a tool that Simon recommended to me for extracting pistons from calipers on motorcycles basically and ROVs, and it's so quick. It's ultra quick now. So thank you, Sam. I use that tool every time now, and it's just brilliant. Very, very impressed. Definitely worth the money. Blubcido Alcon, done that road a few months ago, Andy. Going to Black Mount and then head. Hang on, going to Black Mount and then head to the Borland Road that takes you to Manapuri. Manapuri Lake is a true hidden gem of the South Island. I need to remember that. Hang on, I'll take a picture of that one. I'm always up for looking for new routes to get to places. Jim K, working on a stuck rear brake caliper on the truck after work. Oh, that'll be easy to fix. Sticking calipers. 101. You'll soon have that fixed, Jim. No problems there. Okay, crew, what are we up to? Oh, an hour and 10 minutes. Wow. Okay, last few questions, I think, and then I'm going to hit the road because I've got quite a long way to go. Like I say, where am I going to be? I'll give you a quick rundown of my schedule for the next week in case there's anybody in the South Island listening. Monday, I'm in Invercargill in the morning, so I'm staying there Sunday night. Monday morning, Invercargill visit, and then the afternoon I'm heading up to Gore, and then from Gore I stay in Gore that night, and then on the Tuesday morning I'm going over to Balclutha, or Clutha as they call it, if you're a local. Got a visit there, and then I've got to flick over to Dunedin. I've got a visit in Dunedin in the afternoon, I think it is, from memory, and then Wednesday morning I've got a long drive right up all the way up to Hammer Springs, so right back through Christchurch, through Oamaru, through Timaru, through Ashburton, through Christchurch, and then about an hour north of Christchurch is Hammer Springs. I'm staying there the night, and then from Hammer Springs I've got to get over to Nelson, which is another long drag. The Molesworth is open, so if I get myself out of bed really early, I think it opens at 7 AM, I could actually do the Molesworth, which will take me up towards Blenheim, and then it's about a 2-hour trip across. I don't know how many gates are going to be shut on the Molesworth. That's the only problem, because there's a lot of gates, and if you've got to stop for every gate, it takes a long time to drive that road. But it's probably about 100 k's of gravel, maybe a bit more than that. Real tight and twisty in some places, but other bits are real open and straight, and you can get the hammer down a bit if there's nobody around. There is a speed limit on there though, which is way too slow. So I'm not sure if I'm going to get that one in or not. Probably not, because I'll have those two bikes on the truck and the big box, and it probably won't do the deck any good with all the bumps. So I might have to go on the tarmac road for that one this time around. But that road, the Molesworth, is only open for about 3 months of the year. So there's very limited times of the year that I can go and do it. Lubcido Alcon. This road is gravel road, cool, but perfectly suitable for 2-wheel drive cars if not too wet. Well, it just gets more interesting when it's wet, doesn't it? The views are breathtaking and takes you to the southern arm of the Manapuri Lake. I will check it out. I'll look at that. Steve, cracking live stream, mate. Safe travels. See you next week. Next week's stream. You will, Steve. Thank you very much for joining us again. Sorry this one's been a little bit sporadic. It's a bit weird when you're not in the workshop. I have a lot less stuff to really sort of pull into the shot and talk about. But yes, thank you, Steve, for joining us, and looking forward to part 2, although it's been delayed, part 2 of your pulse diagnostics. Pulse pressure diagnostics, yes. Lupsida Alicon, about 1 hour 20 from Black Mount to the lake. Well, that's pretty good. I like those kind of trips. Okay, crew, it's going to take me a while to get packed up and hit the road, so I'm going to say goodbye now. Thank you very much for joining me here in Queenstown. It's made my morning. It gets me out of bed, which is nice. Otherwise, I'll still be fast asleep knowing me. And, well, I will see you all next Sunday, back in the workshop, if all goes to plan, for the next live stream. And hopefully, shortly after that, you'll start to see some more videos hit the channel. I'll be doing some filming on the Sunday, after I've done the live stream. And hopefully maybe even get one edited up. There is still one in the pipeline at the moment, which I've not heard much about. One of the viewers is editing it up for me, and he's having a few problems by the looks of it, so I might have to edit that myself and get it up on the channel. But I'm trying to give him as much time as I can. In actual fact, it doesn't really matter, to be honest. It'll go on the channel at some point. But anyway, thank you all very much for your support. You know who you are. Really, really appreciate it. And just by viewing is supporting the channel. Feel free to drop onto that Yamaha New Zealand website, YouTube channel, should I say, and check out some of the videos that I've done for them on their products. There's some really good information in there. All right, crew, I'll see you next time. All right, cheers, over and out.